Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today I was out and about with my son, and we happened to be in an area that is I guess considered a more affluent area. Not very many people of color out that way, and I saw a Whole Foods grocery store. I had never been in a Whole Foods, although I had heard about Whole Foods, and I know my son had never been in one. So I said, let's go in here and see what we can see. But I remember I stopped him at the door and I said, pay attention to details in here. Tell me, I'm going to ask you some questions when we come out. Tell me what you see. Tell me what you think. And he says, okay. So we go in, and I'm looking at prices. I'm looking at who's there as far as clientele. I'm looking at what is available, as far as variety and types of food, organic versus GMO, things like this. And this Whole Foods, the store was gorgeous. The presentation, how everything was situated, fruits and vegetables, organic, meat section, beautiful, all different types and cuts of meat. Almost everything in the store seemingly was organic. Maybe that's the point of the store. I don't know. I don't know if everything in there is supposed to be organic, but the majority of things that I saw in the store were organic, gluten-free. I didn't see any GMO, anything in there. Everything was healthy. And then I began to look at the prices for things, and things in the store were very expensive. More so than what you'd find at your regular local grocery store. So we walked over to the deli, and the deli had all these gorgeous salads and sandwiches, and again, everything was organic. Everything was, the salad selection was ridiculous. Again, what was available in the deli, all different types of cheeses and olives. And the selection was bananas. So when we left, I asked my son a few questions. I said, tell me some things that you picked up in the store. And he said, the first thing he said was, I didn't see any Muslims. And I said, well, I'm sure that there are affluent Muslims, more than likely immigrant Muslims, who frequent that store. So I said, that's probably not a thing. I said, how many black people did you see? I told him I didn't see any. And he says, I think I saw 2. And I said, well, were they black people, black Americans, or were they South Indians? South Indians, they can look like Africans almost. And he said, I don't know. And I said, okay. I said, well, for me, I didn't see not one African American person. And I said, I know you weren't paying attention to the prices. And he said, no, I wasn't. He's a kid, so no wonder. And I know he wasn't paying attention to the variety and what was being sold. And I saw a lot of things that are not available in your regular local grocery store. Again, almost everything was organic. And then when we got in the car, again, I asked him these questions. And then I said, so let me ask you a question. I said, what is connected to eating good food? My son said, good health. I said, okay, very good. I said, so what's connected to not eating good or eating food that is bad in quality? Your fast food, your Wendy's, your Burger King, McDonald's, fast food. And he said, well, bad health and you get sick. I said, yeah. I said, so understand that there's some class issues going on here, as well as some underlying racial issues. And I said, that's why when you see a lot of African Americans who live inner city, you find a lot of obesity. You find high rates of diabetes. You find high rates of hypertension and high blood pressure and you know, all of these types of things that are connected to a bad diet. And my son was listening to me. And I said, so let's connect the dots here. I said, after bad health, what comes next? He said, well, you have to go to the doctor. I said, exactly. I said, so now you go into the doctor, and what does the doctor normally do? And he said, he tries to help you feel better. And I said, well, he's probably going to prescribe for you some medicine, right? He said, yeah. I said, because, you know, if you have diabetes or hypertension, high blood pressure, any of these things, there's normally some type of medicine pill that they want to give you to help the symptoms. And he said, yeah. And I said, so now we're talking about who is actually funding pharmaceutical companies. And he said, what? I said, pharmaceutical. I said, the companies that produce drugs. I said, these companies, these pharmaceutical companies and these doctors are living fat off of the back of people who can't afford good, healthy, quality food. And they live in food deserts. A food desert is an area that doesn't have or has very, very small amount of quality, healthy fruits and vegetables. You can't really find good quality, healthy food in food deserts, but you can find foods with high fructose corn syrup, sugar, candies, fast food, potato chips, Cheetos, Fritos, ice cream, all these things that are unhealthy for you. You can find that in abundance. But fresh fruits and vegetables, not so much so. Again, these are called food deserts. So I'm just putting in his head, I want my son to begin to be a conscious thinker in reference to who is expendable in the society, who is important and who is expendable. I want him to begin to connect the dots on what he eats and how that affects his health. I want him to connect the dots when he sees people in low income areas and they look sick, they look overweight, they're obese, they're not healthy. I want him to understand why these people are in this situation. It's not necessarily because they want to eat all this bad food, but the access to good quality, healthy food is very limited for them. People who live in these low income areas really fund the medical industry because somebody has to take the medicine, right? These people get sick. Pharmaceutical companies come with the pills and the serums and all these different things. Prior to getting sick, I don't really think there is a push by the medical industry to teach people proper eating habits, healthy food, foods that boost your immune system, foods that are good for your mind and good for your body. They're not really informing the people of what they should be eating. They wait for them to get sick and then they come in and now they want to give them medicine. Not to mention, even if they did talk to them about healthy food, they don't have access to it. Food deserts in low income areas, whether it be in areas where it's people of color or other than that, is an issue. It's an issue. So I believe that the light sort of came on in his mind. I could see him thinking like, oh, okay. So this is just something that I went through today with my son. I saw it as a teachable moment. And I try to capture teachable moments with, with my kids so that they benefit and they understand what's going on in the world. So that's it. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.